Hello, everyone. This is your weekly reading for July 12th through the 18th. And you're listening to Lygia. So I'm so glad that you decided to come back and listen to more of the readings. So thank you for listening, and like and subscribe if you would like to. And you want any more readings to come into your feed. Great, that'd be wonderful. So you know what, let's just go right into this because something is just telling me I have to start. The first card that we're going to be doing for this weekly reading is actually from, strangely enough, I haven't actually used this deck for a long time. It is from the Wisdom of the House of Night. Now, the interesting thing about this deck, it's, again, I'm using a deck of cards that are from Colette Baron-Reid, but they're also with PC Cast, and she is apparently an author for a vampire series of books for teenagers. So it's kind of interesting that the two decided to get together and do this. So you might hear here and there in the card reading that just this one card that she'll talk about a group of people. So it's just because she's referring to anybody who's read the books at all. So as per every reading, I don't look at the cards until I actually am reading them to you on camera. So basically, I've picked the cards ahead of time, but I don't look at them. So the first card that we have for the very early part of the week is called Loyalty. So I'm going to check this out. Wow. It's kind of an interesting way to start the week of looking at loyalty. But I believe part of it is because of what we were discussing in the past readings, if you've listened or listened to any other readers, that this is a time of relationships, a time of knowing what is of truth within yourself and what is truth of others. So discerning who you would like to be in your little home network. And so it could be, it could tap into a little bit of the loyalty part as well. Who is loyal to you, and who are you loyal to? So it says you have chosen the symbol of loyalty, and this means you are being called to stand up for who and what you believe in. Do you know the story of a beautiful red vampire who saw the good in another and remained steadfast in her love against all odds? Loyalty is tested at times, and you may be asked to assess whether others deserve your loyalty. Sometimes you find yourself in a position where it is difficult to speak up for another person, a cause, or even for yourself. Now is the time to be faithful to your best qualities and to leave the rest behind. This is a true test of character. I know you will choose rightly. Stand up for what you believe and be loyal only to what is true and good. Wow. Love this card. So this is basically tapping right into your ability to hold integrity within yourself. And to hold integrity means knowing the truth, knowing that which you believe in and what is true out there, what follows that particular belief system. So if it turns out that people that you are hanging around or that you are working with, or even events that are coming up for you don't seem to ring true with you anymore, and in the past it might have, then this is the time to say, okay, I say no to this. I say that now's the time to basically disconnect or detach from the situation. Now, most times detachment means you can just basically not get involved with the person's drama or the situational drama. You can have a love for that person, of course, and still be around them. But it's detaching from the drama that they hold within them, or that their stuff, the thing is that they are actually going through. So that's with regards to a person. For a situation, looking beneath the surface and finding the truth of the matter. This is so pertinent in this time and day where we don't know exactly what is truth and what is not. We can speculate, we can believe in what we believe in, but we don't know a lot of this for sure. So what this is saying is use your intuition and try very hard to go within and use that part of you that says, hey, you know what? I know what's right and true for myself. And I'm going to, if I don't know 100% and I just have a speculation about it, I'm going to go and look it up, or I'm going to check in on it a little bit more, check in on a person. So, this is another thing too. Those who may be loyal to you, check in on them a little bit more and see how they're doing. So loyalty is basically recognizing what is within your integrity, and if it doesn't follow suit, think twice about it. So going on in the week, we're going to look at. I really seem to be pulling this deck quite a bit, actually. So it seems as though the universe wants this out more often. The Sacred Destiny Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. So the first, or within the first half, or still within the first half of the week, we're looking at success. Ooh, I like this. I really like this. So this is, you know what? I realized that I didn't actually show you the first card. This is the first card, or the second card that I pulled. The first card was this one. Oops, sorry about that. Loyalty. So very interesting so far. Loyalty and then success. Now, success could mean success in many different things. It could be successful release in some thought or some patterns of behavior. Since we just finished with the new moon, a lot of us may have actually, without really thinking about it, we let go of some things and also allowed for some things to move in. When you let any of the old energy out, then you're letting the new in. So this is what success could mean. It could also mean that you are looking into some projects that you have actually, that you've started, and that you're now looking into the success of that coming out, that the outcome will be very successful. As well, it could also pertain to relationships. Like I say, success is all about a whole hodgepodge of things. So let's look at what they say, and we'll discern if there's a little bit more to reading to this. So success is tropical jungle. Tropical jungle is what it is. Tropical jungles are some of the richest and most successful habitats on our planet. They have incredible diversity, a multitude of plant varieties and animal inhabitants. They are dense with life force that is rapidly growing and rapidly changing. The lushness of their vegetation is essential to the ecological health of the earth. In many ways, the success of the planet depends on the rainforest. These areas are called the lungs of the planet. The plants absorb carbon dioxide, produce oxygen, and help reduce the impact of worldwide climate change. In addition, thousands of plant and animal species that may have medical properties have yet to be discovered. So the message is this: satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment are at hand. Success is waiting to expand in your life. Be ready to accept and embrace the success, for it might occur rapidly. All is possible. The gates of triumph are waiting to open. Being in a state of gratitude for all the small successes in your life will give birth to larger ones. Your satisfaction will come in many forms and from many areas of life. Celebrate it all and breathe it all in, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This is an excellent time to make commitments, sign contracts, and make deals. Good fortune will ensue. It is pretty self-explanatory, but what this is really having to do with this as well is saying that sometimes we kind of go from one typical success and go straight on to the next project. So we sometimes don't celebrate our successes. And what this is really saying right now in this, in the northern hemisphere being the summertime, or where you are right now, is to enjoy some success. Enjoy the success of your plants growing to a particular degree, the success of the fruits of that. Say maybe you did get fruits from your plants at this time, and it's wonderful. That's a small little gratitude that will also yield much more if you accept the gratitude, if you feel the gratitude within you. And so little successes can mean a lot if you are saying, I'm grateful for these particular successes. And any little thing, it could be, or something very large. Basically, a lot of places are also lifting restrictions. Some are not, but basically, some are. And we're being able to reach out to other people nowadays. So call that a success and really enjoy that. This, if anything, this last year has taught us, it is that sometimes we really take things for granted. And one of the things is the success of relationship, the success of love, the success of compassion, and the success of our work, everything that we do. And that is not just career. I'm saying everything that we do in our lives, that we work for, that we strive for, that we believe in, that success is sometimes really taken for granted. And then we go on to something else. It's go, go, go. And that is how the human race has kind of been for a long time. This is saying stop for a moment and acknowledge your successes. Be grateful for each and every one so that more can come in. So as we head into the middle of the week, the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck is calling for the card of embracing. I still have to get used to that. Sorry. Embracing. This is one I think we also had, or it had come up in a previous reading. So we're going to just read it, and then I'll look into it and talk about it a little bit more. This kind of coincides with the embracing success, embracing the gratitude, the acceptance that good can come to you. So that card is called floodplains. A floodplain is a naturally occurring phenomenon in which the land adjacent to a river floods out to the far banks of the surrounding land during times of high water. Land that is normally dry may be underwater for a period of time. When this occurs, silt, sand, and nutrients are deposited. For this reason, floodplains are often areas of great fertility as well as rich ecosystems. They are excellent areas for lush, abundant crops. It is a natural occurrence that allows life in all areas to thrive. So the message is this. Sometimes life overflows with emotions, which can feel uncomfortable. However, the ensuing result of this discomfort can be of great value, perhaps arising from an unseen or unknown source. You get this card when emotions are seemingly overflowing or not flowing at all. Cherish the overflow of emotions and embrace the times that seem murky, for your inner floodplains are being replenished. And as a result, there will be great spiritual and physical expansion. Embrace all your emotions. When you do so, greater prosperity and fertility will flow into your life. Alternatively, if your emotions have been blocked, this is the time to explore and experience them. It's a lovely way of basically tidying up what we have gone through, or allowing us the opportunity to let it flow. In the new moon time and last week, we had a time of the beginning of emotional things happening. So whether it's towards a relationship that we either have had in the past, have in the present, or may have in the future, it was all about relationships and the emotions flowing through it. At this time, the emotions are still kind of running through. It seems like it's running through all of July, but it might also coincide with the astrological situations there too, the influences of the planets. But I also believe that this is saying, allow those emotions to just happen and let them out. I'm going to tell you that just this weekend, I do not know exactly what this was all about, but I had very little patience. And I don't know if that means that anybody else had the same thing, but I realized that I had to let it out, but I wanted to do it as constructive as possible and not get under anybody else's skin. So I was trying very hard to deal with it within myself and just say, okay, you know what, this has to, I'm acknowledging that I'm angry somehow. I don't know exactly what this is. I'm not feeling 100% or whatever the case may be. Maybe I need some more water. So I drank more water, which actually did help. So anyways, I was realizing that I have had very little patience and that I'm acknowledging that I had anger here and there. So I know that the new moon also has new moon and weather has influences on me. I'm not sure if they do the same thing with you, but it definitely can. The planets can definitely do that. So acknowledge that you have emotions. Acknowledge that these emotions have either flowed already, whether it's sadness or a little bit of depression, anger. Acknowledge that they're there and let them go. The important part. That's where you get that fertile part. Because if you could let the emotions go, just say, okay, you know what, I'm going to feel this. I feel this particular way. And let it go and say, okay, look, it means that chances are something better is coming along. I'm just going to believe in that. And when you do, when you kind of let that happen, then something better does, in fact, come along. And it means that whatever it is that you're in, whether it's the relationship or the career, or it's any type of project that you're working on, um, anything, then it means that the abundance is right behind that. Because with the flow of emotions flows everything else. Keeping in mind that you can also be acknowledging those emotions with gratitude. I'm grateful that I experienced the impatience that I did this weekend because it leads me to realize that I need a little bit more, or I need to give myself a little bit more self care and self love in order to do what I need to do for the rest of the week. So when you acknowledge these things and you actually are grateful for the emotions that come in and out, now you can actually expect more coming in, more new, abundant blessings coming into your life. Going on to the latter half of the week now, we are in solitude. So the interesting thing is that this solitude has a nice big full moon. So I'm believing that as we're going towards the full moon, which will be in the latter part of July, um, we will need to go within a little bit more. Now, you might think that we've done a lot of that, considering that we've been alone or basically on our own for quite some time in our own environment, forced to, in a sense, due to restrictions. Um, this is saying that basically we are in a particular situation that the solitude that we are to go into is actually a pleasant one where we do establish self care. We go for long walks and enjoy the weather, enjoying the nature around you, feeling what's out there, feeling the natural parts of life. Solitude just simply means allowing yourself to be you. And it's important to understand that you are a very important being. So, solitude, I'm just going to read that out. Sacred Island is the name of the card. Islands are bodies of land surrounded by water. They can be in an atoll or a river basin. However, the ocean surrounds most islands. They can be massive with their own unique verdant ecosystems, or they can be small and barren. The terrain can be flat or mountainous. They can be a detachment from the mainland through erosion, or they can arise from the sea through volcanic activity. The thing that is universal in all islands is their isolation. And many cultures assign mystical symbolic meanings to particular islands. They are thought to be the resting places of gods and thus are used for sacred purposes. So the message is this: spend some time alone. In your life, this means to take your own counsel rather than relying on the opinions and dictates of others. Break away from the crowd, be on your own. This card also speaks of self resourcefulness, self reliance, and tenacious individuality. If you are working on a project, trust your instincts and follow your own lead. Your creativity is at its peak. Let it flow. Once again, this is all about flowing, isn't it? If you are in a relationship that is disempowering, this card suggests that it's time to step away. Time or take time to reassess your life. In solitude, you will thrive. This card also suggests safe haven, a sacred womb for incubation and self-transformation. Beautiful. Now, the whole world has been in transformation at this time. It means that we are also in transformation. Sometimes we may not acknowledge that we are in transformation. And sometimes we need time to rest. We need time to be on our own and actually figure things out on our own. Sometimes it's actually better to write some things down so that you can organize your thoughts. And this is saying in solitude, spending some time. I know this is the last thing that some of us want to do is spend any more time alone. This is basically saying you will actually feel like you want to spend some time alone because you're used to it. In the last year and a half, that's all we have been doing. We've either been spending time alone or with our families. And sometimes that can really get to us. But at the same time, your own self-care, your thoughts about certain things, like they're talking about work, trust yourself, trust what you believe in, trust that you are being guided to the right acknowledgement in the project, or that you are being guided to the right relationship. They're saying in here that basically disempowerment is not something that you can, well, tolerate right now. Right now, we need to be empowered. And solitude is a time where you can spend alone with your thoughts or with the absence of thoughts. And that may be in meditation, yoga, different breathing exercises, going out in nature, exercising, doing something that is for you, acknowledging your self-care and allowing yourself to just be. Now we're heading into the weekend, and we're going to be picking up another deck here that's called The Soul's Journey. This is kind of a cool one. This is James van Praagh. So it's very pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to read from the guidebook anyways, and we'll interpret from there. So James van Praagh says we have to do a little bit of forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Isn't that true? You know what's nice too is the colors that are in this card. Forgiveness is talking about, I'm not sure if it's actually showing as well, but it's an orange yellow card. And that's when we forgive, we basically allow ourselves the opportunity to empower ourselves. And that's solar plexus, just above the navel. At the navel is the sacral chakra. And it's the orange, it basically coincides with the color orange. And that's our creativity center. The purple that's in here is all about our third eye, which is basically forehead area, right between the eyebrows. And the purple is more of clarity and psychic awareness and or intuition. So once you begin to use or do forgiveness work, you open up an amazing channel for abundance and relief. That feeling of calm, peacefulness. Forgiveness is so important, to let go of things, anything that people might have done to you, or anything in situations that really caused a heightened emotional outburst. within yourself or out. If you let go of that and literally just say, you know what, I don't need to feel that anymore, then you are opening up once again, pushing away the old, bringing in the new. And the new is always going to be better. I'm telling you that. So, forgiveness, let's look up what James Van Praagh has to say. You can never flow with your natural energy of love unless you release the negative energy of hate, anger, intolerance, or blame. Every soul in your path has free will, and you have no control over that. What you do have control over is how you react to the manifestations of others' free will. Holding on to that negative energy will strengthen karmic cycles, and forgiveness can break that pattern. The most important person you must learn to forgive is always yourself. Blaming yourself for failures blocks the natural flow of love, which will attract all good things into your life. So true. Now, it sounds like the week is going to be pretty interesting, going in a upward, downward kind of flow. And I see that part of it is the forgiveness work can be done in solitude. So it is one of those things that you will likely need to be working on, and or the universe is going to make you do it. Sometimes if we don't acknowledge forgiveness, and at this time, I believe that the universe is really not holding back. If we're not on the right path, it's doing drastic things in order for us to be on the right path. So if you haven't dealt with certain emotional hurts from the past, whether it's in situations, career, relationships, even in childhood, the universe is tapping into that and saying, you need to let go of that karmic cycle. You need to let go of that emotional hurt and guck, because you're not moving forward fast enough. You're not moving forward in your life path. So we need to let go of this now. And looking at the cards, I'll do kind of a summary at the end of it all. The first card we have is loyalty. Then we have success, embracing, solitude, forgiveness. When I look at all of that, I'm seeing a lot of the outcomes of emotions. We have a lot of flowing of emotions here, and a lot of flow in general, flow of energy and flow of emotions. And forgiveness is one of those emotions I believe is going to have to come up this week, which means that you may be thinking about something and or dreaming about something that will let go of an issue that has the outcome of forgiveness. So keep that in mind. This is also, again, latter half of the week. And the last card we have for the latter half of the week is also something that we're going to have to look at as well. And it's guilt. So very interestingly, the colors of the card are very similar. We're dealing with the reddish portion there in blue. The reddish portion of the card has to do with the root chakra, or the base of the spine. The blue is to do with the communication chakra, which is at our throat, not communication chakra, but the throat chakra, having to do with communication. So we're looking at some pretty interesting, very heavy duty emotions. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So that's what I say, is that forgiveness and guilt are things that a lot of us may actually hold, not only for things that have happened to us, but what we hold within ourselves that we may have done to other people or other things. So looking at the last part, this is going to be a pretty interesting end to the week, but not to say that it's a bad thing. These are wonderful things you can let go of. This is karmic, like literally karmic influences that need to be let go of. So the energy of fear has many guises to complicate your path to loving yourself. Guilt is the most devious because it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is a self-imposed emotion that pretends to be instructive and enlightening. Guilt can help us grow when we realize that our actions have been hurtful to others and that we need to make amends. After we do so, though, it's time to learn from the behavior and move on. The problem arises when we hold on to a guilty feeling that serves no purpose other than promoting self destructiveness and low self esteem. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Guilt is not always rational, but if you examine it subjectively, act on it, and release it, it becomes a temporary emotion. Long held guilty feelings are never good and will create a roadblock to self love and happiness. You must continually scan your current emotions for any guilty feelings and bring them to the surface for analysis. Healthy guilt is a warning that action should be taken. Irrational guilt needs to be released. Very well put. So, in uh, this whole week, we will see some good things because, I mean, basically, this is when you let go of any of these types of emotions, forgiveness of guilt, and letting go of any issues that have arisen in the past, maybe even coming to a compromise with other people that you may have had issues with before. You have this sense of peacefulness that just covers over you, and that's that love that's settling back in. You may have been absent in that small part of you that held the guilt or part that needed to be forgiven. And now that you have, love can settle in there. This is this whole week, just put it this way, this whole week is about you. Deal with you. Enjoy being with yourself because you are a very beautiful being and you need to enjoy that part of you. Realize that there are abundances and blessings that are coming to you no matter what, whether it's financial, economical, your uh, career, relationships, anything that you have ever wanted can be brought to you a lot quicker when you let go of any emotions that are laying stagnant within you. So, as said before, try to let go of not only the emotions, but go through things that you don't want anymore, things that are lying around, the stagnancy of your own home, your environment, your physical things like your clothes or old things that you got from your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or ex or whatever the case is that just does not need to be there anymore. Old careers that you're holding on to, old trips that may just not need to be in your home, considering clutter and declutter. Go ahead and declutter. That also helps so much to raise the energy, to raise the vibration of the energy, and to let go. It helps in letting go of those emotions. It's amazing how potent energy is because energy is in everything. So if we let go of something, it's literally raising the vibration for yourself because um, guilty, guilty feelings and fear are very low energies. And when you let go of that, you're now allowing for a higher vibration of energy to come in. And those are always considered to us to be miracles, blessings, abundance. So that's what this is called for you this week. A lot of stuff that's going on, but at the same time, what you have to look forward to are more blessings within your life. So use this week to let go and let the beauty in. Recognize how wonderful you really are. Acknowledge your successes and everything that you do, including letting these things go. These are successes as well. And follow your intuition with things that are going on in your life, whether it's work or going down a certain path in truth and actual physicality in a path, or in a project that you're doing. Anything that you have coming up, just acknowledge that it's going to be successful. I hope this is a wonderful week for you, and I look forward to seeing you next week in our weekly reading. If you like this video and previous videos, I encourage you to like the video as well as to subscribe to the channel. And I thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. You're a wonderful, wonderful being. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.